Hey gang, welcome in. Thanks for watching. Josh Gordon has reported to Browns practice, and it's true that mountains get made out of molehills in training camp, and there's still a lot of time before the regular season, so we have to ask ourselves, are we ready to forgive? Are we ready to go back to ranking Josh Gordon as we did maybe back in July? As always with me, I like to base my decisions in what the film looks like, so I thought we would refamiliarize ourselves with what Gordon looks like on tape, and maybe that would help us make a decision about how to regard him headed into week 1, which is still a long way away. So let's take a look. Let's go back to some grainy footage of the first big play Josh Gordon ever made in a regular season game. You know when the Giants decided they probably shouldn't cover Gordon with middle linebacker Chase Blackburn? Yeah, this is probably the play. Fast. Josh Gordon is fast. I will show you many plays. Josh Gordon is fast. Quick break to thank DraftKings for sponsoring the show today. Now, I have the 2018 Harris Football Player Profile Almanac, and normally it costs $17, but thanks to DraftKings, you can get it for free when you make a first-time deposit of $10 or more at DraftKings. All you have to do is click the link below me in the show notes, go on over to DraftKings, make that first-time deposit of $10, and within 24 hours, we will send you the Harris Football Player Profile Almanac. It's 200 plus pages, it's a PDF, it's got lots of film grades, and it's got lots of ranks, and it's got lots of jokes about players. I think you'll like it. I hope you'll like it. And normally it costs $17, so it's a pretty good deal. Thank you very much, DraftKings, for sponsoring. Let's go back to more Josh Gordon. Also 2012, the year before Gordon's breakout year, still Zapruder-like film. Don't cover Josh Gordon one-on-one without safety help because this happens. He's matched against the rotting husk of Joselio Hansen, and yeah, bye-bye. Okay, so 2012 ends, 2013 starts, but Gordon is suspended for the first 2 games for failing a drug test. We don't pay that much attention to him. And then against Minnesota, he comes out and is targeted 19 times in week 3. This was his first catch. Stutter go. A.J. Jefferson is like, Josh who? And tries to jump the route, and Gordon is gone. But let's just watch him be fast some more. Break out the footy pajamas. Here's Gordon. Feels to me like maybe you should have a safety back. Who am I to question Bill Belichick? Oh, yeah, I guess probably, yeah, you should have a safety back. He's fast. The Jags do have a safety back here, but that guy makes a bad play, going for the ball, and lets Gordon run free rather than staying deep, sort of an unpardonable sin. But for me, maybe this is the definitive look at Gordon's speed from the press box. I mean, look at that. Number 37 there, that's Jonathan Cyprien. Good player, not a blazer, not a crazy high 40-time guy, but not molasses. Here, he's molasses. He has the angle. He might have about a 7-yard head start on Gordon, and no. 2013, the Browns ran trick plays for Gordon. They ran reverses. They knew they had something special, a speed demon. Now, he probably wasn't as good as his final 2013 numbers indicate. He saved some bad weeks with some big plays. I mean, there was a Bears game where I think he had 2 catches for like 20-something yards into the last minute of the game, and then he scored a long touchdown, and that was actually during the fantasy playoffs, and that made him look a lot better. He had that 3-game stretch in 2013 where he had about 650 yards, which, again, it's great, but it's based in big plays, long plays, and to some degree you worry, what if those long plays go away? What if defenses play him smarter? What if there are safeties deep? What if they tackle him? You don't want to be too reliant on big plays because you can start to have fallow weeks. Given where we're going to pick you, we'd rather you not have fallow weeks. And then, of course, after 2013, he's suspended for the first half of 2014, and then all of 2015, all of 2016. So he comes back last season in 2017, towards the end of the year. So let's take a look at some film and see what he looked like when he came back. So he's back in week 13, and one thing to pay attention to as I show you film from last year is we're not seeing a whole lot of undue respect from the opposing defense. Now, the Chargers have good corners for sure, but this is man-to-man stuff. One-on-one out of a bunch formation. And yeah, Gordon is winning here. They probably should have more respect for him. Problem winds up being DeShone Kizer. That's a bad throw. But you can see that Gordon is running past Tramon Williams. And if he gets hit in stride, that's a long touchdown. Following week against the Packers. Now, this is a safety help look by Green Bay with a man over the top against Gordon in addition to man under. But that man sort of just lets him go and stays on his side of the field, letting Gordon deep cross underneath Kenny Britt, and Gordon gets loose and turns it upfield. That's not a one-on-one foot race, but you can just see from what he looks like when he gets the ball in his hands, like it just looks different. He is clearly still very fast. As I say in the almanac, he is still a freight train. But okay, by now you know Gordon did not break out at the end of last season, and there's a good chance it was because of Kizer. I'll give you that. But let's also talk about what Gordon doesn't do that much on film. On this play, that's kind of a non-traditional bump from the defensive back, not lined up directly on the line, but still within 5 yards, so it's not an illegal contact. And is there any technique there from Gordon? Is he lining up his footwork to avoid the guy, or fake him out, or just sort of not run the route directly into him? To me, it looks like I'm supposed to run over there, so I'm going to go real fast. And he sort of runs into the defender. It's a lack of technique, and that is something I've seen from Gordon really his whole career, and including those games from last season. This play, Gordon is released by the corner who's on him, and presumably he sees the deep safety on his side. And you can tell from the way DeShone Kizer reacts at the end of the play that he thinks Gordon was supposed to break off his route when he saw this look. And Kizer throws it behind Gordon. Looks like a bad throw. What are you doing, DeShone Kizer? But I think I'm going to believe the quarterback here. He knows the play, and I think that Gordon is the one who misses a sight adjust to take a nice chunk gain and instead just keeps running, where my guess is Kizer's ticked off because he wanted Gordon to stop. Here, Gordon gets bumped, and yeah, it's snowy. Your footing isn't the best. But I'd still want to see him fight more off the line, or maybe more so, have a move to shake the guy who's trying to make contact with him, and that sort of the failure to do those things nearly gets the ball picked off. Same game, okay, footing, not great, but no excuse for this lazy comeback route. Gordon is able to do the hard part in the snow. He stops his forward momentum against the two defensive backs who are playing behind him. But when Kizer throws the ball, having read the hook as well, Gordon just sort of hangs out, right? He stops on the yard line there, and he lets the defensive back get his hips turned and come back to the ball. If Gordon is the one coming back to the ball, that's a catch. Same thing here. Hook route, stop route. You can see after he takes those steps to slow his momentum, his feet, are they active? He's not really boxing out Kyle Fuller and kind of leaving a lane so that Fuller can explode back and tip the ball away. If he's aggressive, if he's boxing out, if he's coming back to the ball, that doesn't happen. Against the Steelers, this is more misreading with Kizer. Gordon is running a short cross, and Kizer looks him off or is legitimately going through a progression, and Gordon is a secondary read, and he comes to Gordon and throws it where Gordon would be if Gordon kept running, while Gordon obviously thought he saw something that caused him to power down rather than keep going on the cross. Not going to blame this entirely on the receiver without knowing the specifics of what his responsibilities were, but certainly, at the very least, you go, okay, not on the same page with the quarterback. Certainly, though, for however many nits I want to pick when it comes to technique, for as much as Gordon probably isn't a route-running technician, nor does he really show great instincts for the finer points of the position, I mean, he could still do this. And you can also easily argue, I think, that at his size, if the Browns have a functional offense in 2018, we'll see, but if they do, of course there could be red zone touchdowns at his size in his future. The kid has 15 career touchdowns, 2 of them have come from inside the red zone. Josh Gordon doesn't really run a complicated route tree. He's not really shown he's all that much of a technician, so I get why there can be some worry, because if it's only big plays, if it's only dominating with size and speed, defenses can account for that, especially in any given game, and suddenly you might go from a couple of weeks with 100 yards and a touchdown to 3 weeks in a row where you get the Deshaun Jackson stat line, and if you're drafting Josh Gordon, you're paying a heck of a lot more than you'd be paying for someone boom or bust like Deshaun Jackson or Ted Ginn. Now, on the other hand, the thing that Gordon does do, which is go deep and be physical and be impossible to tackle and run really fast and make big plays. I mean, what else do you want from fantasy? You know, that's sort of what we want. He's a league winner. He's a week winner for sure. So it's hard for me to get too freaked out by what we see on tape. I just want to realize that as of what we've seen to this point, he hasn't been a complete receiver. And then there's also the worry that, I mean, is he going to play week 1? He reports to camp August 18th. I don't know if he's going to be able to play week 1, nor do I know if the time he missed working with Tyrod Taylor, Baker Mayfield, maybe that has a constraining factor as well. In the end, I put Gordon basically right back where I had him in July, which is a lot lower than a lot of other folks had him, just outside my top 20 receivers. Huge risk, obvious risk, big risk, but big reward as well. You need to pattern your team accordingly and have some safer options elsewhere on your roster if you're going to rely on Gordon. But in the 4th round, if he makes it that long, I can see taking the chance. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.